Welcome to the astrology report for the week of October the 16th to the 22nd. And we're going to talk today about the Cazimi of Mercury. Mercury moves into the heart of the sun and does a reset for you in the Libra part of your sky. I want you to listen for this content based on your rising sign first and foremost, but you can also listen for your sun and moon. We also have a beautiful Venus trine Jupiter coming up at the end of the week as well, bringing a sweet rainbow blessing at the end of a very dry and quiet week astrology wise. We're going into this week after the calamitous energies of the South Node Mars behind us, as well as that eclipse that we are going to experience or have experienced on the 14th of October. Now, I want to talk a little bit about world events in terms of that eclipse, especially in the context of Israel and Palestine. We're going to start off with a little mundane astrology, if you don't mind, which is to talk about world events and cycles of time. But this is also a week in which, because the astrology is pretty quiet, and not much is happening until the end of the week, with that Cazimi happening on Thursday, the 19th in my time zone, we can kind of enter the week feeling like we're coming down off of some kind of intensity. That said, the October 14th eclipse is still energetically very strong. So even as we step into this week on the 16th, we're still kind of brushing off the energy of that eclipse, and it really does play out for at least 6 months more. So, and I know a lot of people, a lot of my clients, a lot of my friends, a lot of my followers are talking about how heavy the energy felt for each of us individually before the war began in Israel. Everyone felt somehow something was up, as if maybe the sky was going to fall. And I also felt that myself. So I'm sure a lot of us intuitive, sensitives, psychic type people had that sense of an impending doom. And so unfortunately we feel sad. I feel sad. Yeah. So yeah, but human being, war is catastrophic when revenge is a motive, when civilian casualties are high on both sides, when massacres from anger happen. I'm not gonna re-record this. So I'm going to give you the week ahead with the best outcome possible. At the end of the week for you personally will look really good. The Cazimi, the reset button of Mercury in the heart of the sun, is very important as well. Now, I want to say something also before we begin. If you're new to my channel, the crying astrologer in front of you, who lived through 9/11 in a very intimate way, which I won't go into now, is telling you that you're, I'm a Western tropical zodiac astrologer. My name is Lori Lothian. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I don't normally tear up on my own channel. But anyway, here we go. Whew. So there's something in psychology called shock loss. And it's not when you just lose somebody because they're dying slowly and you have time to prepare. It's when there's no warning and they die suddenly and you couldn't prepare. And that happened to me personally with both of my parents. I was like an adult orphan before the age of 40. It also happened that my son was almost killed twice, once at the age of 9 and once at the age of 18. And so when world events hit like this, like 9/11, like this, and I was involved in 9/11 at the time, living in DC, and my husband was working near the Pentagon, and there was all this chaos and phone lines were down. I feel for both the Israelis and the Palestinian peoples. I don't feel for terrorist organizations who massacre civilians in a raid. I don't feel for extreme measures that look like revenge on steroids. I am, however, just speaking as a human being who's not taking sides in a sideless war, because when each party thinks that there can be no winner but themselves, then there's never going to be a solution. So you can talk about 70 years of conflict in the Middle East and see that that is true in this particular region of the Middle East, Israel and Palestine. So now that I've got that off my chest or whatever, or I've just been vulnerable in front of you all, let's get into the sky ahead. First, the mundane astrology, which means the world events, then the story for you, looking really good at the end of the week. Like, I think you're going to love your next weekend, the 21st, 22nd, with that Venus trine Jupiter. And before that, the Cazimi reset on Thursday. But let's talk about the whole idea of what a Mercury Cazimi is. Mercury moves into the heart of the sun 6 times a year. He does it in Libra on intermittents, like once every year, once every 2 years, once every 3 years. He will meet with the sun in Libra. It's not a steady pace. And when he meets in the sun with Libra, Libra is a sign of peace, harmony, and balance. And the best we can hope for is that there is a peace treaty, peace accord, brokering of deals to stop the war in the acute war, the crisis war in the Middle East right now, so that it doesn't escalate and ripple out and domino effect, right, into the rest of the world. But Mercury in the heart of the sun is what we don't see. It's the invisible realm. It's completely, deeply, deeply invisible, and the perfect conjunction with our sun. And in this time, in an esoteric way, Mercury is talking with divine intelligence. The kind of orchestrator of the entire matrix of reality is embedded within the solar energy. And so this lap of the king, heart of the sun energy can be a time when Mercury is getting sort of a divine instruction for a reset in each of our lives, in the Libra part of our whole sign, 12 pie slices sky. But also, what about the Middle East, and what about peace? I did some research on this because I was, I want to say I was cautiously optimistic. I'm hopeful that maybe having this Mercury Cazimi just after war might mean that, Egypt and maybe Saudi Arabia and maybe, France or somebody all get together and try to figure out a way out of what is going on in the Israel-Palestine conflict. And so at this point, that hasn't happened, but because it's a hidden view, it's backroom deals and negotiations, it's something you don't see. We may not expect to hear of this during the day of the Cazimi, but that's the 19th, Thursday the 19th. And it's happening it's happening in different times in different places, but it's happening, I think, around 2 a.m. in the morning, maybe Eastern Daily Time, and then flank it by 8 hours on either side. And you're in the heart of that Cazimi. So I'm hopeful that in the aftermath of that Cazimi, there may be some mitigation of the crisis within the Middle East. Number two, a lot of my people here have asked me to go into astrology of the Israel situation, in which Israel's ascendant at 23 degrees of Libra is exactly where the eclipse is happening on October the 14th. I'm reticent to put political videos out there because every time I say anything about anything, that someone who, I don't care what I'm saying, I'm talking astrology, but then I get a huge backlash of comments saying I'm favoring Trump, I'm favoring Biden, or this and that. And I'm like, done already, guys. This is astrology, okay? It's not politics. I'm telling you about the sky as it pertains to world events. But that aside, I will say this. The Libra ascendant of Israel at 23 degrees of Libra is why we're seeing this flare in the sky, in the heavens reflect a flare on earth. As it is above, so it is below. As it is below, so it is above. And because the nation of Israel was founded with a Libra ascendant, it's a Venus-ruled being. Venus is a planet that represents that particular entity called the state of Israel, the nation of Israel. And Venus is currently in a condition of her fall in the sign of Virgo, and in aversion or unable to witness or support the eclipse on the Libra ascendant of Israel. So in that sense, it can also look like what we're seeing as an element of hardship. That eclipse is on October the 14th, and the war started on October 7th. It does not matter. It's the same energy field of the eclipse, which can radiate up to 6 weeks before the eclipse and up to 6 months after. So there's an eclipsing of the identity of Israel with an eclipse on the ascendant of Israel. And Venus, the Lord of the nation of Israel, is in a sign of her detriment and blinded to or unable to support the ascendant or the identity of Israel, and she's the ruler of Israel. So that's one of the big problems going on here. I have some hope because Venus is in a mutual reception to Mercury in Libra, the sign of peace and harmony, and she may be able to work sort of sideways with a hotline to Mercury, which can literally look like hotlines. You know how presidents pick up hotlines? I talked about this in another video recently, and there may be backroom deals and negotiations and hotlines for diplomacy through back channels going on during this Mercury Cazimi on the 19th, which is Thursday, because at this point, the day I'm recording this, because it goes to my Patriot community first, the United Nations is declaring war, declaring Israel guilty of war crimes by declaring today on this Friday that 1.1 million Palestinian men, women, and children, and grandparents, and elderly and frail need to evacuate northern Gaza to go where? To go where and how? When you have an earthquake warning, or something, a fire warning, everyone piles into the one road. It is literally virtually impossible within 24 hours for 1.1 million people to grab whatever they can from their homes and wander somewhere south. And because there's no aid coming in, there's no Red Cross coming in, the borders are closed, and there's a bombing at the Egyptian border by Israel, not letting any of the citizens out of Gaza, right? I'm sure they're afraid that the Hamas will escape. But the point is that the Palestinians are trapped in a tinderbox of bombs. 6,000 bombs have been dropped on Gaza. So it makes no sense. And so as of recording this, and I don't know what will happen by Monday, it's looking really bad. So I can only imagine that this Cazimi could bring in like an emergency meeting of back channels for the world, that people with Venus getting a hotline to Mercury, the messenger, in her home saying, hello, there's a freaking apocalyptic story happening over there in the Libra Ascendant of Israel, and I'm the ruler of that nation. We've got to get this thing fixed up ASAP. That's my best guess. And I'm going to pause this recording for 5 seconds. I just want to make sure the asteroid Pholos is not involved. We already have Eris, the goddess of discord, and her babies, because she's a child of Nyx, the night, being things like homicide and murder and strife and disease and all kinds of things. And she's energetically involved in this eclipse as well. So let me just grab my back end chart and make sure the asteroid Pholos, the domino effect, isn't in play, because that might mean this regional conflict will domino out into a world war, which is, of course, everybody's worst fear. Unless you are absolutely chilling on ascension vibes, you would not want this, right? This world war thing to happen, because it will destabilize the entire globe. So pause button. Let me check Pholos. Okay, I'm going to take you over to look at the chart. And yes, Pholos is involved, unfortunately. The domino effect asteroid was in a hookup to Mercury at the time of the onset of the war, which makes me believe that domino effect energy, cascading, snowballing, out of control, may be a part of the narrative. We have Pholos in Capricorn. I'll show you the picture of that squaring Mercury, who is involved in this part of the sky where the eclipses are happening, who is involved with the ascendant of the nation of Israel at the time of the onset of this October 7th declaration of war by Netanyahu. Oh my God, I cannot say his name. Netanyahu. I'm going to go pronounce it, practice it, Prime Minister of Israel. So, a couple of thoughts before I show you the sky. We'll go through this together and talk about, yes, some good news for you at the end of the all signs portion. If you're still hanging in there, please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit my notification bell. I put out up to 30 videos a month, and I give all signs delineations for almost all of it. The other thing I want to just mention is this Cazimi energy of Mercury coming into the heart of the sun in Libra is happening pretty close to the ascendant, within 3 degrees of the ascendant. It's at Cazimi at 26 degrees of Libra, 3 degrees of the ascendant of the nation of Israel. And I looked back in time to see when else that happened, when else we saw that kind of Cazimi and Libra happening. And we did see the Cazimi happening in 1948, October, at 26 Libra, the exact same place. That was the founding of the nation of Israel in 1948 after the war of World War II. So bottom line is that 26 degree Libra has not, in my research that I can find, happened, again since then, but it's eerie and ironic that there was a Mercury in the heart of the sun in October 20th of 1948, and it's back again now in a time of great calamity in the Middle East regarding Israel and the Palestine peoples as well. The 2014 Gaza war, which is called Operation Protection or Operation Protective Edge or something like that, it corresponded in 2014 with the Cazimi at 23 degrees of Libra, it was in October, exactly on Israel's ascendant. Although the war was over by then, it was July, August, it's still the same year of that war. And then in 2010, in 2010, there was something going on that wasn't good. I think it was, oh my God, I wrote down my notes here. Okay, well, forget the 2010 version, but 2010, 23 degree Libra Cazimi. If you're into the historical research, remind me of why I put that date down, what was going on in Israel-Palestine conflict in the fall of 2010, because that happened then as well. And then the 1964 timeframe, there was a Cazimi at almost 22 and a half degrees of Libra, again on the ascendant of Israel. And that was when the Palestine Liberation Organization was founded in the West Bank. And in 1968, there was another Cazimi at 22 degrees of Libra retrograde, and that was connected to it was after the 1967 war, but it was connected to the actual, might get this right, the first terrorist organizations forming on the edges of Israel and starting to incur, to strike and create damage. So there's a lot of timings in which a Mercury Cazimi on the Israel ascendant leads to stories to do with this conflict. You know, Mercury and the heart of the sun seems to be, on Libra seems to be correlative of Israeli-Palestinian issues. Don't forget, I'm looking for something close to 23, not Mercury and Cazimi at 10 degrees or 4 degrees of the sign of Libra. So let me show you the sky. And I know I'm a little heavy today. I know I started off by crying in front of you guys. That's kind of like, I'm not even going to delete it. If I can't be me, I can't be me. I'm not a broadcast channel, right? I'm like a blog style astrologer, and my real life is me, and I tell you about it. So if you don't like that, you can go somewhere else where there's a talking head. Okay, so now I want you to look at the sky. This is October the 7th. I haven't cued this to hold, so let me fix it so that it stays at 0 degrees. We want it to stay at 0 degrees of Aries. So let me just change it from whole sign to 0 Aries point, and then we'll know what we can move the distance, the sky, without like getting all dizzy. Yeah, we can do that if I can find the 0 Aries. There we go. Okay, so hopefully you're all witnessing this. I'll make it a little bit larger so you can really take a peek at it. This is what's going on in the world right now. Eris, the goddess of discord, looks like an anchor. Forget the midheaven. It doesn't have any meaning here. She's like strife, war, all bad things that you can imagine. Right the heck opposite this whole thing, this Cazimi. So we're seeing her playing out because also not just of the Cazimi, but also because of the eclipse that we have on October the 14th. And she's embedded herself into this eclipse pretty darn profoundly. So we can see that she's being reflected in this energy as well. The stock markets are tumbling a bit because of this war. And I've done a video with Osher Finance Astrology that we recorded a week ago. We talked about a black swan event. That's what this kind of thing is, like a 9/11. I'll be putting that video out shortly, probably before. That video may probably be out because I've been backlogged in my pipeline. So look for that if you want to know a bit about the financial astrology going on in the sky now. So here we have it. What we're seeing here is this story of the beginning of this war. I'm going back in time just quickly to show you what the sky looked like, and then we're going to go to this week ahead. There's Pholos at the top at 5 degrees of Capricorn in a difficult relationship called a square to Mercury at 3 degrees of the sign of Libra. And this is the onset of the day of the war. The time of the war is specifically unknown to me. It doesn't really matter. I want you to see the day that this war began, because the Prime Minister of Israel declared war on the day of the first massacre, like the massacre incursions. It was like, well, this is a war. This is not a reaction. This is a war. He went straight to the word war. That it was proclaimed. The word war was proclaimed on that day. Okay. Although I know officially the war wasn't maybe declared until 3 days later or so, something like that. It was on a Monday. Or so. But here we still have Pholos in the game, and Pholos is not going to leave the game, and that's a domino effect. Now, unfortunately, Pholos is in the sign that often connects to stock markets, and especially in the United States. So it can be that this war creates a domino effect, okay, negatively influencing the stock markets in the United States of America, and then, of course, by extension, perhaps even the world. By the 10th, which is a Tuesday, I think it might have been on the 9th or the 10th, that Israel officially said we're at war, but we still have Pholos just sitting here at 5 degrees, moving very slowly, still squaring Mercury. And remember I told you that the ruler of the ascendant, the Libran ascendant, 23 degrees of Libra on fixed star Spica and Arcturus, two very positive stars, the sheaf of wheat in the hand of Virgo the Virgin. I have no doubt that the founders of Israel, the nation, chose that from astrological high priests and guidance, because Israel put its ascendant on the two most positive stars you can get, Arcturus and Spica, and they're both protective stars as well as lucky stars as well as prosperous stars. Yeah, you can't make this stuff up. But the South Node is there leaking out the protection. The South Node is there making an eclipse. And so the eclipse energy on the 14th is part of the story. Let's keep on moving here and we go forward. And we're going to come up to the current time frame for the week ahead. Now, Pholos is barely moving at all. He's in a very interesting time where his movement is very hindered. We see Mars going into Scorpio, by the way, and that's something to be also considered. Mars is a war god, and in his own sign, he likes war. And in stealthy ways, he likes war in Scorpio. So that's a little bit concerning in my own mind. But on, there's October 12th, 13th, we get Mars in his warrior, warmongering vibe, and that would be the second house, by the way, of the state of Israel, which is their finances, which is the house of their resources. So that's Mars trying to really push for something there. I don't know if it's good or bad. That'd be a whole other video on mundane astrology I don't have time for. Let's go ahead and do the 16th. I want you to remember that there's nothing major going on, and that's why I'm telling you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday into Thursday is pretty low key. Take a snooze pill. Don't worry about it. It's a chill pill time. And you can see that right now the sky is looking pretty boring. There's nothing much happening. We do have that Mars that has been trining Saturn throughout the weekend, and we're still feeling a little afterglow from our own personal productivity, our own determination to get stuff done. Give you a stupid simple example. I recorded my 12 all signs videos yesterday during the Mars trine Saturn in one day for November of 2024, which I normally don't do, but I pulled it off, got them to my Patreon community yesterday, like 10 days before the public will get them. But that's that determination we all felt maybe Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday coming into this week of a Mars trine Saturn, giving us gumption, grit, go for it, go getter, get it done energy. Now this is coming off of that, and we're moving into the fact that it's waning by the time we get to the 18th, and that's on Wednesday in my time zone. And then here we go, boom, we're beginning to look at the Cazimi. That's Mercury joining the Sun and then the heart of the Sun. Now this is not happening, this is happening later in the day, on the actual 19th, closer to midnight in Pacific time zone and into the wee hours of the night when it's pretty precise. It's happening at 26 degrees and 33 minutes, and it's going to be at 1:22 a.m. in New York State. Yeah, so 1:22 a.m. in the eastern seaboard of the United States, and it's going to be there for just coming into, 10:30 at night, Pacific Daily Time. Now, I always do eclipse webinars, but I'm going to be traveling and be very busy, so I won't be doing that this time. But I encourage you to take the Cazimi and think of it as a hotline to the divine mind, a chance to connect with the divine mind within yourself, within the collective, a chance to do prayers and petitions, a chance to ask God what you need or Goddess what you need. Lynn McTaggart, who wrote the book The Field and then The Power of Eight, has put a call out by email for everyone to gather together with her kind of leading to create an energy for peace in the Middle East. And by the way, why not? Can it hurt? No, there has been some studies by meditation groups. The Maharishi Mahesh Yogi put a meditation group to de-escalate crime in America or something. And that during that whole time, the crime rate dropped or some kind of study like that. So if you are inclined to petition for peace in the Middle East, should it be a part of the divine will, supposedly there's a divine will, then maybe that's a good idea. But on the Cazimi day itself, the 13th, the 19th, which is Thursday in my time zone, you can definitely get some kind of juice, okay, from it. So again, if you're on the Eastern Daily Time, it's happening 1:22 a.m. on the 20th. In my time zone, it's on the 19th. So the 19th, 20th are the days in the Western Hemisphere where this is what is happening, just for your own time zone. And you don't really see the results of the Cazimi immediately, but in the news cycle, often a news story can break because Mercury rules all the news is fit to print. All the news is fit to print comes out, all the information gets displayed as the sun shines through the news agent himself in a very bold way. And so sometimes we do get breaking news stories revealing something that was hidden from our view until the day of the Cazimi. So what is that? Is it about the war? Is it about something else? I have no idea. But watch your news cycle on the 19th, 20th of October. But personally, take it in for your Libra part of your sky. We'll be doing all signs to talk about how you're maybe best able to use this Cazimi in a proactive way in this Libra part of your sky. Don't forget, it happened a year ago. It happened maybe 3 years ago. It's going to happen next in 24. Then it's going to happen in 2027. So you keep getting regurgitations of this energy, but it's also happening at a degree that may or may not be very relevant to you and your sun or your moon or your rising sign. But we'll go our best through the all signs today. Now, I wanted to cheer you up with a Venus trine Jupiter. After all the calamity and all the emotions we're feeling individually and collectively, there will be a happy ending here for our own personal lives. Now, this is Venus, a bit lesser benefic. Yes, she's still in the sign of her detriment or fall in the sign of Virgo right here. I didn't even annotate for you guys. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to do it now. Right here where my cursor's spinning, there's Venus in Virgo on the bottom, kind of like at the 4 o'clock position. And then we can see Jupiter over here, there's a big blue line at 12 degrees of Taurus. And this is building up. We're really feeling it on the 22nd. It's pretty precise on the 21st, but I will even give it Friday, Venus's day. So I kind of say Friday. Let's go back in time. Let's go back a little bit here to Friday and see what's going on. There's Friday on the Eastern Seaboard, and she's at 10 degrees. So even Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, there's this feeling of intense goodness around your Virgo part of your sky and your Jupiter part of your sky. So I will touch base on that for the all signs as well. However, the only way I can possibly parse this as good for Israel and peace in the Middle East is it maybe because this is in Israel's chart, the 12th house of backroom deals and negotiations where Venus is sitting, and she's trining Jupiter, the god of truth, justice, wisdom, and good, all good things. This can be perhaps Jupiter representing a world leader, because kings are often like solar figures, but Jupiter can just mean somebody who's a world leader, somebody in a position of kingship. And Jupiter may be a world leader, retrograde, coming back, someone who's already helped broker Middle East peace agreements, someone who's already been involved, and maybe it's a leader or maybe it's a former leader. You know what I mean? Maybe it's someone who's already been doing this kind of work in any country to help create a new way for Palestine and Israel to get along. And technically that could be the best news of what I'm seeing here, because even on the day of the Cazimi, Venus is connected to this story just by being the ruler of the Ascendant of Israel, trining a god of justice or a world leader, retrograde, somebody from the past. So this won't be all of a sudden like, I don't know, the leader of Australia, New Zealand, or Taiwan or China gets into the mix. I doubt it, because they have never done that before, I don't think, with the Middle East. With the Jupiter retrograde, it would be recapitulating a peace broker from someone in the past. Egypt was always quite involved in de-escalating situations on its border, and there could be that as well. So who knows? We shall see which world leader steps up later in this week, predicting that that's probably what the best possible thing is for the Venus and the Jupiter connection. Okay, let's get going. And also in the Israeli chart, the eighth house is the place where Jupiter sits, and so it's kind of all very hidden stuff in a way. The eighth house so would be sort of the monies, the collective monies, the collective purse of the nation, and so maybe it's also about you not wanting to sort of deplete their prosperous resources in a protracted war that will go nowhere over time, or having things fall apart like the Saudi Arabia deal that was being brokered, and that is now on hold, as you can imagine, because of this war. And maybe some calmer heads will prevail and realize that prosperity in between Israel and like Qatar, which is already ongoing, United Arab Emirates have already made peace with Israel, but like the more trade and commerce and alliance that these nations make just for practical reasons can dispel the differences of religious and ethnic disparity, because often it's like, it's all based on xenophobia. It's all based on the other person is bad because they're different or because they believe something different than I do. And it's also war is always a consequence of resources, right? And trying to fight for those resources. So when you share your resources, you're not fighting each other for them. Just my humble, very simple delineation here. Now let's move on to the all signs and go starting with the Aries people. And let me just take a quick pause. Stop the share. No, I don't want to stop the share. Yeah, I do. I'm going to change the chart so that I can spin the dial. I've got half an hour before my Sky Reader class Q&A today. I'm recording on Friday, October the 13th. As the markets are finishing out, it looks like the markets are finishing slightly lower in the stock markets. I think I'll put the Osher Astro Finance video out tomorrow. I think for intuitively, I'm feeling bad about Monday. Like, remember the black market crash, the Black Monday crash of 1987? That happened when the South Node was co-joined with Mars, and then after that we had Black Monday, and I don't know, I just can't see how the markets are going to not, just war aside, they're already overvalued and they don't make sense. So we'll see what happens. There's been a disconnect from the real world economy and the stock markets for some reason. Crypto is a separate entity. It's not the same, and it may do fine no matter what. Okay, so let's get started with the Aries Sun, Moon, and Rising. Let's open up that chart once again. Just one more thing. The sun of Israel is at Taurus 8 degrees. The eclipse of October 28th is at Taurus 5 degrees. Yet again, both the Ascendant of Israel and the Sun of Israel, which can represent the leader, by the way, is at 8 degrees of Taurus. It just keeps on showing the same narrative. Some calamitous story is going on for the state of Israel in connection to this war. Then the worrisome thing is Pholos, the domino effect asteroid is in there, which can influence the world, especially from Capricorn, world economies, world markets, and the world governments getting all pulled into this nightmare, which is a nightmare. It is by any means a nightmare. Well, life is made out of dreams and nightmares, like good dreams and bad dreams. It's a matrix, guys. It's a simulacrum. It's a simulation. It's what you see is not what you get here. I know this is to be true for many reasons that I can't disclose here. All right, so let's start off with Aries, and I'm going to try to not be so down on the dumps here. I mean, it is a sad week. In my Cosmic Moonshine newsletter and in my November All Signs forecast for the month of October, please go listen to that one. I talked all the time about the October. I said about October 7th to 10th or 8th to 10th is a gnarly week. I said gnarly week. Bad stuff is happening. I wrote about it in my newsletter and said it could be like bombs or killings and bad stuff happening. This is when the war broke out. And this is exactly, and I even said diplomatic crisis, thinking Taiwan, China, but no, it wasn't Taiwan, China. But you get what I'm saying, right? The sky was always going to be difficult this week. Nobody could know for sure the nature exactly of the difficulty of the October 7th to 10th timeframe, which was the onset of that war. And the horrific news stories of both the carnage in both Palestine and Israel. Let's go ahead now and let's think about our happier lives individually. Nobody here right now is suffering like the people in the Middle East are. So let's count our blessings and thank the gods that we're here and send prayers for all involved. Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. This is a story for you of a Mercury Cazimi on the 19th, and think of it as a reset button in your 7th house of marriage, particularly if your Aries, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant is anywhere near 26 degrees, and therefore you will feel it more acutely. And if that is the case, then know that you're resetting something to do with other people. You're rebooting, resetting, re-engineering something to do with your business partnerships, your relationships to your audience, clients, and marketplace, or your significant other. And so in that way, what are you going to renew and reset that involves a letting go and a releasing and a surrendering in a strategic way? The goddess of strategy is sitting right here. So you may think about Athena saying, play your three-dimensional chess game, get your strategy in place, but you might have to release something to build something, because the South Node is about that surrender and letting go. But what you let go of will benefit you, because this is a divine orchestration of divine will, and Mercury's getting mission instructions from King Sol. So something is going to reset here over the couple of months that follow, because, you got to wait for the next Cazimi. So in the next couple of months, you'll see the clear reset direction in those areas of your story. And if you've been having any trouble as an Aries rising, navigating your marriage type stories, because the South Node's been here since July, and making it feel like kind of a down in the dumps, down the drain, weaker spot of your life for some reason, this can also fortify that relationship and build it up and reset it in some fundamental way. I love the trine between Jupiter and Venus here. It could really open up some financial opportunity for many Aries through the area of resources, revenue, money you make, your job, your hustle, your make money game, and Venus, the goddess of luck and money, in the sign of house of your work and your work routines and health routines. It's good for both resetting your life in terms of not overdoing your addictions, for example, but also just resetting, or not resetting, but also just beginning to feel some jubilant prosperity through the practical, sensible way you've been doing your job or work. And that 6th house energy looks to be fortifying you financially at the end of this week, reminding you this is playing out, let's say, Thursday through to Sunday. I'm an Aries Sun and Moon. I think I'll use me as an example. I'll be putting out my 2024 November All Signs videos during that window of time for the collective. And I've had an invitation and everyone to buy my 2024 pre-sale price for my 2024 videos, 75 minutes each for each sign. And that will probably look like a flood of purchases from listeners. So I'm just giving you a practical example of why Venus doing her sensible hard work, trining retrograde Jupiter, looks like something from the past prospering you. Of course, it's from the past because I've done this kind of sale of my content every year for 4 years now at this time of year. Okay, so Jupiter, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Jupiter, Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. It's a story here of a reset button happening in your sixth house. Your sixth house is the work house. It is the house of the day job, the colleagues, the coworkers, sometimes rental situations as a landlord or a tenant, also pets. A new button is resetting here. You may have an opportunity to rent a new home in the 2 months that follow, a situation with a pet emerging in a new way. You also have to let go of something. And I know a lot of Tauruses who may be letting go of a particular position at work or a job and trying to find more harmony and balance in their lives. I mean, many people I know have more than one job. If you live in Vancouver, Canada, and you're young, you can't afford to live here without more than one job. And so bottom line is let go, release, surrender, but also renew, reset in the house of work, but also the house of health. And for you, this could also be a very positive time about releasing and resetting some substance addiction, self-undoing pattern habit that you may have incurred in the journey of life. And because it's Libra and it can rule legalities, there could be some, and Mercury is the god of contracts and negotiations, you might renew a lease or reset a contractual agreement regarding work or tenancy or legal agreements around property. Now, the trine that's happening here is really lovely. This is Jupiter, he's blowing you up, glowing you up, shining you up, giving you a super beautiful vibe. And you're feeling, even though he's retrograde and he's kind of subtle right now, I felt a sense of renewed hope and optimism in most of your Taurus lives, starting in the month of May when he began to ingress into Taurus. And you get his love and luck and generosity, magnanimousness all the way through to the end of May next year, May 25th. So you may as well ride the wave, but he is retrograde until the 26th of December. So it's a very subtle inner compass reset of your well-being. And as this half full cup is continuing to happen for you, this is Venus in a flow from the house of fertility, children, pregnancy, romance, sexuality, even the house of your creativity and your art and your creative projects, and also of your entrepreneurial business stories, your independent enterprise. Those things are getting a sweet glow at the end of this week, starting on Thursday through to Sunday. This is a high fertility transit. I talked about this in my 2024 October videos for the sign of Taurus. So if you don't want to have a baby, because Uranus is with Jupiter, this could be accidental pregnancy, especially for the egg carriers of the world. You know who you are. You're called women. Yeah. So there you go. And so good luck with that. And some of you will have children, and that'd be wonderful. Maybe that's exactly what you need right now, getting pregnant. Good news are going on with your children as well during this week. Good things are happening with your adult or half adult children. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. And if you're in the live premiere, I think this is the first shout out to please hit the like button. And thank you to all my regulars, Ace of Spades, Mercury with the message, I haven't seen you for a while, Jupiter Stephen the Jupiterian, Jupiter 8, Crystalline Alchemist, Grounded Extracts, Discerning Light, Our Soul Songs, Linda Calder, Michael Thrash, Serge LaBelle, and more. Thank you for being a part of my crew. Of course, always L.A. Taylor and Misbehaving. People have been following me and hanging in with me for almost 2 years now. This is the live premiere chat group when we all talk about the video together as it premieres. Okay, so let's move into Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. Gemini, Sun, and Moon, and Rising sign. So here's a Mercury reset on Thursday. You're going to have this kind of feeling. You could divinely petition a change of guard or stories regarding your children, your fertility. This is fifth house matters, right? This is where it's happening. Entrepreneurial business resets, romance resets, creativity resets. And over the next 2 months, you'll see what I mean, right? Something is, you're letting go though. You have to release, surrender, let go in a strategic way. Athena South Node of something in that area of your chart. With my progressed Sun and Gemini, I'll probably be letting go of something to do with the way I do my entrepreneurial business in order to generate a life of greater time off. But also think about it this way, it's a new beginning in a house that's very fertile. So you could come up with a new idea, especially around the Cazimi, a new creative idea for your business or for your creative projects. Having this Cazimi here is a wonderful place because it's a joyful luck house. And so in essence, it's very protected no matter what. Venus is trining Jupiter, and she's doing that from the 4th house of property, homeland, and real estate, private domestic life, to Jupiter in the 12th house of foreign shores, foreign lands, revenue generated from those foreign shores and foreign lands, as well as the potential for travel to those foreign lands, if not moves to those foreign lands. Also, the Jupiter in the 12th house is like a sort of spiritual guru vibe, and you might be getting a teacher or guide or mentor or going to an ashram coming through. But Venus wants you to prosper. She's very practical and sensible, but what kind of home-based abundance and joy and prosperity wants to emerge in the last part of the story between the Thursday, the 19th and the 22nd. And travel to foreign countries would be wonderful. I'll be traveling as a Gemini progressed sun to California for a friend's birthday that week and won't be working at all except for YouTube videos. And so there you go. That's an example of how the sky can be so effing literal. Yes, my sun is progressed into Gemini from Aries, where it was when I was born. Yes, you can use your progressed chart as well, but your natal chart will always have the fundamental baseline accuracy. All right, so Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. This energy of a reset with Mercury is happening in your 4th house. It's angular. It's a big one, especially if your Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising is anywhere near 26 degrees. So let's say 23 to 29 degrees of Cancer. Is it going to like crank the wheel of your destiny and can make significant changes in your life, not small ones? What kind of changes? I don't know. You could be doing a reset in the home. With Mars in the 5th house, do you want to kick a child out of the house, or is a kid going to move out of the house? Resetting something to make a change in your home, and you're beginning in the home strategically for sure, but letting go. What are you letting go of in your home? Are you letting go of a pet? Are you letting go and strategically realigning your furniture? But also look for the divine downloads about your childhood, because the 4th house is your home of childhood, home, the origin, homeland, your mom and dad, especially your mom, your childhood experiences. And anytime we have a Cazimi in the 4th house, we could have divine downloads on the 19th. You guys could, about things that went on in your childhood that you needed to remember, uncover, recover from, and dispense with in some way. Or you could channel the ancestral line in some way as well. Having this energy of Venus in your 3rd house is a story that has a lot to do with your siblings, especially younger, perhaps even travel opportunities, short distances, trining Jupiter in the house of the elder sibling and the 11th house. So unexpected developments with siblings are happening for you that are very luscious and positive. Yes, Thursday through to Sunday. And maybe with Jupiter retrograde, it's something from the past that's returning as well, from a friend who wants to benefit you, a friend who wants to treat you like a big sister or brother would. So like an ally, a patron, benefactor energy. So that's coming your way. And if you have any online presence in any possible way, because Venus is in the house of all the online social media platforms, this is quite positive. You could also start a new relationship under this idea of Venus here, if it's Tinder and Hinge, that kind of thing, or through friends and social groups and events in the neighborhood where you meet the person that you're meant to be with. It would be an auspicious start to a new relationship. And anything else, and making money online with Venus in the 3rd house is possible, even in her fall, and Jupiter's boasting the greater gains from your career if you use the online world. But also your retail outlets and your stores and your shops are there. You might be spending a bit of money, but you're also feeling extra specially abundant in joy, friends, and even socialization during the 19th to the 22nd. All right, Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. I'm going to get this done because I got a class Q&A for Sky Reader. So let's go through it. You're having this Cazimi reset in your 3rd house. The 3rd house represents your siblings, cousins, local neighborhood, short distance travel. This could be letting go of something strategically in order to find a new reset over the couple months that follows in that part of your sky. And also you may have some changes regarding your relationship to those cousins or siblings emerge, especially with Mars in the 4th house, almost promising a change of situation in your home, maybe because of conflict. But this reset button allows you to navigate that hopefully with some ease in the 2 months that follow. With Venus in your 2nd house of earnings and Jupiter in the 10th house, it looks like a career opportunity. It looks like a money opportunity. With Jupiter retrograde, it looks like between Thursday and Sunday, a chance to do something career-wise, maybe surprising, but also connected to your past, like an old boss getting in touch saying, hey, I want to hire you again, or like your earnings suddenly picking up because of some positive exposure to how perfectly wonderful you are in the broader world of your career and purpose. Also, Jupiter can be a boss-like figure, really bestowing some kind of financial favor on you, raises and promotions, for example, during this Thursday through Sunday time period. All right. This is for the Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising folk. This is a reset button in your money and earnings house with a strategic letting go. South Node Athena. How are you going to receive more money by letting go? You can't, if you're grasping, you can't receive. Something has to give here. So you're going to let go of something most classically, probably like my Virgo rising daughter with her 2 different jobs in her university schedule, will let go of one of those jobs. In what? The 2 months that follow. The reset button of Mercury in the heart of the sun. Spend the 19th getting your divine downloads about what you might do that is in your best interests. With Venus in the first house, you're feeling lovely, pretty, beautiful, charming, charismatic, and you know you got your mojo on and you're sensible about it and practical. But as this is happening, we have a wonderful Thursday through Sunday trine to Jupiter, and this is super sweet for education, higher education, colleges, universities, foreign land travel opportunities, book publishing things, and spiritualization, going to church or finding your favorite church or getting your favorite pastor to love you up and to designate you the best pew sitter there ever was. But if you're in an academic environment like my daughter, this is something that's going to feel and look very good during this Thursday through Sunday timeframe. There's a strike right now at our university and our classes are canceled. And so it's probably, for a practical example, my daughter's education is called back on, and she wants that to happen so she can finish school. So this is an example for you to consider. Also, things like getting a visa application approved or a legal court matter approved or working in your favor can happen as well from Thursday through Sunday. Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising, Mercury reset, strategically letting go, though, of something. Because where Mercury sits is in the house of you. This is about your identity. You are the one letting go of something strategically, using some wisdom there with Athena, and having yourself reset in the 2 months that follow, especially, of course, if you're 23 to 29 degree Ascendant Libra, Sun Libra, or Moon Libra energies. People ask me to tell you what day you're born. Like, this is for the Libras born between this date and that date. I can't. It's just too much work. Because I want you to listen for your ascendant sign, which I can't give you dates for anyway, and your moon sign, which I can't give you dates for anyway, in terms of the degree of the lunation. So just pull your chart up in whole sign houses and look and know your own degrees. Thank you. So Libra, you're going to experience that reset and you're in charge of it. That's the good news. It's all about you. Of all of the signs you need to do, the meditation, download, connect with the divine, figure out what the meaning of life is on the 19th into the 20th. And then we have Venus in the 12th house of backroom deals and negotiations, and bad pleasures trining Jupiter in the 8th house of shared resources, monies, and chunky money. Well, for a lot of you, this could look like some kind of backroom deals and negotiations regarding inheritances, taxes, insurance, things where you want to share that money with somebody else. It's not coming off your paycheck, and you're getting some kind of positive deal making going on. Now, on the other hand, Venus here is in a house of bed pleasures, and Jupiter's in a house of sex as well, especially deeper intimacy and kink. Possibly there's something going on here where you're having a wonderful time in regards to those themes between Thursday and Sunday. You may also think that this could be a female working on your behalf in some positive way from behind the scenes. Although it is a house of hidden enemies, I think the Jupiter trine mitigates anything to do with the word enemy. And you're in an inheritance transit of some sort anyway until the end of May next year. So this could be a signal of where that money may be coming from. And by that, I don't mean someone has to die. It could be a trust fund, a living trust, a great Aunt Susie wants to gift you her diamond ring already or something like that. And then we also have this idea that you have an experience of the possibility of a surprise. And because 12 and 8 are hidden houses, there's a positive surprise because of Jupiter next to Uranus coming to you financially. Let me know if you have any foreign shore revenue or sources of money from foreigners. This could be coming from the 12th house Venus as well. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. A reset needs strategic letting go with a Cazimi in your 12th house. Stop smoking, stop vaping, stop drinking, stop whatever. It's time to quit that thing. It's a big quit that thing. So in the 2 months that follow, if you're trying to quit that thing that undoes your life, you're sabotaging addiction and habit, this is going to be an ideal time to do it. The Cazimi can get you started. So on the 19th, 20th, it's a good day to ditch the habit. But on the other hand, this is also a place of foreign shores and revenue and travel, and it could onset a travel plan to a place you've been before that you begin to execute, maybe in the 2 months or just plan that foreign trip, and it will be a lovely reset button for some area of your life. With Venus in your 11th house of great gains from your career, friends as allies and benefactors, and also your deepest wishes and dreams, trining Jupiter in your 7th, it's a love up between your business partners, clients, audience, marketplace, Jupiter in the 7th, legal contracts and agreements, your significant other, wedding vows coming, anybody? But it can be like a kind of precursor to some deeper engagement in an existing relationship. If you meet somebody new under this, it will likely happen for single Scorpios in larger settings of social activities with others, Venus in your 11th, and bringing in a very powerful, especially for women, new relationship. Jupiter can definitely look like, however, something to do with expanding and goodness happening for your significant other and benefiting you tangentially in how your great gains in your career are unfolding. Like, hey, honey, we're moving to New York. And you go, oh my God, thank God, because, you know, the magazine I work for wants me to go there, and their job, their changes in goodness benefit you financially as well. They get a job and it benefits you financially as well if you have a partner. Sagittarius, sun, moon, and rising sign. It's a reset button with strategy and letting go-ness. Let go, let God in your 11th house of friends as allies and benefactors, greater gains from your career, success and rewards of your career, and your wishes and dreams for your life and your social groups you choose to belong to. This reset button over the next 2 months makes a change. You'll let go of some friends, but in come the new. You'll let go of the old groups, but in comes the new. And also, if you want career gains, definitely look at that Venus in your 10th house, wanting that for you as well. And this is a reset button and how you can bring those greater rewards and gains into your life. Ponder that on the 19th and 20th. Let the divine tell you the next plan. However, you also have a positive Venus in that career house trining Jupiter Thursday through Sunday. And that looks to me like job, career opportunities. That looks like good situations emerging regarding your reputation as it involves 6th house matters, usually work and work obligations. If you have a health problem, this could be a very good turning point. If you're experiencing health challenges, Venus in the 10th house, though, it suggests that you get better because of something that is offered from on high, like a female health expert gives you exactly what you need to Jupiter resolve and heal a health challenge with a surprisingly Uranus good results. Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising sign. I'm determined to get done in time. Don't forget to hit my like button in the premiere. Don't forget to like everything I'm doing. Don't forget to subscribe and share my videos and help this channel grow. I think I just hit 43,000. I'm aiming for 50,000 now by the end of the year, but I did have my aim set like an extraordinary 100,000 in January. But it's always better to overshoot, right? So Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising sign in the sky, you have a reset button. You need to let go with strategic way in order to reset and start something fresh in the 2 months that follow in your career and reputation space. Don't forget, with the north-south node moving through here all the way to 2025 January, this letting go and resetting is so important to you. You must let go of an old identity of your career and purpose, or how people see you in the world. And the second thing is that you also have a beautiful opportunity to look at that Venus in your 9th house of foreign shores and lands, legal matters and court cases, trining Jupiter in your 5th house. And I suspect that can look like a financial perk or information or news that a grandchild is on the way, either one. But if it's a financial Lakshmi type perk, it's coming off of the words foreign shores and foreign lands, and it can glow up your entrepreneurial business creativity as well. And you might find that you're more aligned with your truest purpose when it comes to using your unique skills and talents in the world. And you're feeling that to be true, most likely Thursday through to Sunday. Sorry guys, I went way into the future. OMG, I apologize for my own crazy ass spinning wheel. Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising. We have a reset button, strategic letting go in a 2-month reset. Yes, we do. In our 9th house, foreign shores, foreign lands, book publishing, spiritual values. A lot of us are going to have a different spiritual path in the 2 years that follow, reorienting how we perceive reality in the matrix. But right now you get a 2-month reset there. You might just let go of a trip you were planning to a foreign land, or you might travel to a foreign land you've been to before that feels like a past life, or make those plans during this 2 months that follows this reset. And it's also really good if you're doing academics to let go of one thing in order to get another thing happening. Drop that course you don't want, pick up the new one, shift your trajectory. And if you want to publish a book, it's also possible that this could be a good thing for that in the 2 months that follow as well. Secondly, you got Venus trining Jupiter. Yay. She's in the 8th house of chunky money and resources shared with others, trining Jupiter in the 4th house of legacy, wealth, family of origin, home, property, and real estate. For some of you, it could just be a really good moment where your tax accountant says you paid too much and here's some more money, and you go and buy a beautiful sofa. That could be the simplest way. Another way is your stock pays off and you make some money, and then you could buy a home, or you could sell a home or buy a home under this influence, and it would go very well. Jupiter retrograde is pulling something from the past into your awareness, so it won't be something surprising in you necessarily, although Uranus is there. This could also be an opportunity to profit from something you're doing at home in a way that creates revenue that's passive income that you don't have to hustle for, that kind of thing as well. So looking for that prosperity through chunky money, resource with a spouse. Now, because your 8th house is spousal shared resources, it can be that your partner gets some financial opportunity that benefits you both, and in your home expands the prosperity of the homestead and the common communal shared assets. Lastly, firstly, and bestly, Pisces, sun, moon, and rising sign. There is a Cazimi reset to let go strategically of something in your 8th house of chunky money. This is about inheritance monies, 401ks, investment monies, banking, loans, credit card debt. You certainly could strategically let go and reset in the 2 months that follow the 19th, 20th Cazimi, some sort of debt. That's really a good way to do it. Dump the debt down the drain. But if you don't have debt, be careful. Watch out for those stock investments. Things could go really awry here with the South Node here. Conservative, conservative, conservative. Now, it could also be about property, land, and real estate dealings that you need to go of, financing, change your mind about an opportunity. My Pisces rising sister and I had a talk today, and I said compromise and negotiate regarding this real estate situation with an inheritance and her spouse's family, because it'll go south if you don't. So this reset can be something like that. Like, can you compromise? Can you sort of do a surrendered aspect and find another way to reset the narrative? With Jupiter in your 3rd house of siblings trining Venus in your 7th house, or Jupiter in your house of travel, or Jupiter in your house of the online world or your local neighborhood, you can benefit and grow and expand there, even with his retrogradation in surprising ways, Uranus. But also travel opportunities or sibling experiences can give you a 9th house contractual situation. So 9th house is legal vows and contracts. That includes marriage. Venus is a benefic, bringing positive things to the life of your marriage partner and business partners and your clients, but also it benefits you in a 3rd house way. So it could be something like, oh, my business partner just got a new opportunity and it's going to allow us to take a journey or a trip somewhere. My spouse or something like that. If you start a new relationship under this transit, you probably meet the person in a local shop or restaurant or the neighborhood or through a neighbor or on an online dating app. So if those single Pisces are looking for love in all the right places, go for it. And Jupiter here, he's kind of wanting to expand your communication, your writing, and your online platforms and your visibility. And for any Pisces doing the online world thing, this can be a really big jumpstart in your visible presence in the online world during the Thursday through Sunday transit. That was a fast and dirty. Thank you for sticking in there. I appreciate all of you. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe. I'm not going to delete. I'm not going to edit. My video started off with me, overwhelmed emotionally, but that's because I'm a human being. I'm not a talking head and I don't have a team of editors. So I'm just going to leave it as it is. And I did talk fast, but I need to get it done in time. I'll be doing a separate Mercury Cazimi video that'll be coming out closer to the Thursday Cazimi, because there's a lot more depth I would like to go into about the asteroids and stars involved. So stay tuned for that as well. This is just my overview of the week that comes out every single Monday. I'll be traveling to Palm Springs. So if you guys I won't be doing much at all except for videos with you guys and some live premieres, but I'll wish you a great week ahead and enjoy that Venus Jupiter trine at the end of it all. Big hugs.